Hello, hello, hello. Finally, it's like the third attempt now. I'm making a video, as you can see. So, I want to talk about what we have to do to become happier. And I'm not saying like becoming ultra happy right up front or something, or like you're gonna win the lottery or become successful or find a girlfriend or make a lot of money or be ultra happy. No, happier than before. Okay. That's what I like about Paul doesn't like that lady, but that's what I like about Esther Hicks and Tony Robbins, is that there is a large scale. There's a spectrum. It's like a ladder, okay? From Esther Hicks has 22 steps, if I recall this correctly. 22 steps to freedom and empowerment, which is happiness, okay? That's like the highest level. So I see that most people are on the first 3 levels. That's what I see in the world. And it is sad to see that, and it causes these first 3 levels, the mind state of people that are feeling unempowered, causes so many problems in the world, causes so much environmental destruction and pollution and suffering of animals and humans. It's just unbelievable. It's unspeakable. It really is. That's those 3 first levels of Esther Hicks' scale, from rock bottom to the highest level of empowerment. So the lowest level is complete unempowerment, and where people feel helpless, where they're in a state of basically learned helplessness, which the corporate agenda does as almost like an experiment with the majority of people worldwide. Particularly here, it's playing out in the United States right in front of us. We can see it on social media, how people are unempowered and want to be liked, and the kind of stuff they do in order to be seen, even not just liked, but just first of all just being seen. And they do anything to be seen. They do anything for views. They do anything for subscription and for money. Anything. They all do anything, and it's heartbreaking. I don't even want to talk about it. It's so infinitely sad. As an animal rights activist, I see these things all the time. Okay. And it causes me heart problems. It literally breaks my heart. Okay. It causes me breathing problems when I see this. It's absolutely abhorrent. And I want to help, I want to help with my videos. I want to give food for thought, like whole food for thought I want to give to people. There's a bunch of things I wanted to talk about. All of this ties in with the same thing. There's a concrete plan for empowerment and happiness and freedom. Okay, concrete plan. I'm following this plan. I can't say that I have reached the highest plateau, and there's no plateau ever, there's never a plateau. There's never a level where you can say, now we have made it on, this is like the highest level. No, you can always make it further and further and further. This is an infinite scale. And it goes infinitely up, and it seems like it goes infinitely down. That's what I see in the human species. And it's alarming, and it's very frightening to see that. Teal Swan talked about this as well. She does what she does to empower people because she herself is frightened about the state of mind of most people because of what they do in those unempowered states of mind. And I also want to make this very clear that the infinite cosmos does not judge you. You know, the sky perspective, as I always call it, does not judge you, doesn't put a judge hammer down and say you are now condemned to go into hell or purgatory or whatever, bardo or whatever. You're gonna be a ghost, you're gonna be a prisoner or whatever for forever. Or I don't even want to repeat what some Christians threaten people with. I mean, that is so disgusting and so psychopathic that I wouldn't even discuss this, even in a critical way. I don't even want to say this. I don't even want my mouth to say this, what they say. So, but you know very well, most people are Christians, you know what they say. And that's abhorrent, okay? To threaten people with hell, and then, oh, it's just so incredibly sad. And that just, I mean, that alone, to threaten people like this with religious threats and stuff like that, no wonder why people are at rock bottom of that empowerment scale. Okay, no wonder if they are being threatened, if they're being coerced, if they're being shamed and humiliated all the time, over and over and over. That's why I refuse to put that judge hammer down. I know Paul does, and he gets mad if I don't. Okay, I always make this very clear to Paul and to everyone that I don't want violent people in this world. Okay, this world can no longer tolerate violent people. Okay. There are too many of them. Maybe in the past, like a couple of 100 years ago, there'll be one person in a community who kind of is delinquent or something, and then they all go over there and they tell him, look, you either straighten out or you leave this community. Okay. Today it's now the delinquent and the corrupt and the violent and the criminal people that are the majority, okay, that are running businesses, governments, UN, okay, United Nations, okay, every institution that there is, that people have created, originally created for some kind of monitoring or oversight or law enforcement, is infiltrated now with a majority of criminal people. Okay, and that's why the news are also not just infiltrated. They are the news. All the mainstream news are run by corrupt, corporate paid people, if not complete corporate middlemen or collaborators. Okay, so that's the fact now. And that's why whatever you hear in mainstream news, you need to question it. You need to look behind the scene. You need to read everything you can find. You need to read Chinese news. You need to read Japanese news. You need to read different news broadcasts from around the world. That it's safer to read some from Asia than to read this from the United States or Germany or Europe in general. But I recommend to read all of them if you can. Definitely not rely on what they say in the United States in mainstream news. So, and then there are some alternative news outlets. Some of them are also extremely corporate paid, or they want to be politically correct, and then because of that they censor themselves. Okay, the Blue God agrees. This is what's happening. Okay, so Twitter has become now a melting pot where people are allowed to say what they think, what they speculate, their opinion, what they have read here or there. And so everyone is allowed to say something about the political situation or things in general, the vaccines. People are allowed to say something now. In the past, medical doctors who warned against the vaccines because the vaccines are so dangerous for people's health. Those medical doctors in the past, before Elon Musk had Twitter, when that Agrawal had Twitter, and all of these corporate collaborators, they would censor these medical doctors, and they would actually kick them out. They would kick them off Twitter, okay, if they warned people about the vaccines. So who ran Twitter in the past? The corporate agenda, okay, the medical industry. Because they make money on those vaccines. They don't care if people get sick. So be very glad. Okay, be very, very glad that Elon Musk has Twitter, is in charge, is monitoring the situation, and is able to kick people out if they are corporate middlemen or collaborators. He kicks all of these people out. He has to, okay, when that comes to the surface that they came in there only to sabotage Twitter and to form it back into censorship, corporate censorship. Elon Musk pays very close attention to this now. But obviously, so there are so many infiltrators all the time, and it's very difficult for the Twitter staff, the good people that are in there now, to figure exactly out who is good and who is bad from these thousands of people that are making applications and so on, that want to work for Twitter in order to sabotage it. Those are called infiltrators. So it's very difficult to discern in the beginning who is an infiltrator and who is not. Ingrid Newkirk with PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, has to deal with infiltrators all the time. Okay, they are bombarded with infiltrators because, of course, the corporate agenda wants to sabotage them and wants to sabotage the petition signing process, and they all have someone get in there in oversight of the petition signing apparatus. Okay, I've observed all of this already. When I see shit going on like this, I will report it to the PETA staff. I say, look, what what's happening there is not working. Someone has messed this up. Yeah. Or, you know, for example, very clear example is where whoever was hired for designing the website and the petition signing pages, they have made it so that the activist who comes there who wants to sign the petition can't even find the actual petition form where you put your name in and then you click send, or you click vote your vote. So yeah, send button to different legislators and so on, or to make a pledge of something or whatever. So they made it almost impossible. Most people have no patience, and they know that. Most people will just say, oh, what the heck, I can't even find the petition form, let me just click this off and that's their goal. So to prevent people from signing the petitions. Okay. Why? Because internet petitions have literally created new laws. I mean, we can actually, just with our activism, be part of reshaping a legal system. Okay, and it works. It's wonderful. We've done a lot. We've had a lot of success as a collective already. And Vladimir Putin signed a lot of petitions into effect. You know, a lot of these petitions that came to him, you know, for the animals, he signed those into effect, into actual laws, because he cares. Okay, he's compassionate, and he wants peace. And the other guy, Zelensky, is a complete corporatist, and he is an international war criminal. Volodymyr Zelensky from the Ukraine. He is an international war criminal. I want people to know that. Vladimir Putin is a wonderful, compassionate, amazing man who does everything he can with his legislative leverage and the money he has and everything that all the people, the connections he has made, and friendships and diplomatic connections that he has made. He wants to make the world a better place, and he is. Okay? He's amazing. He's a wonderful person. But he's being slandered because all good people are being slandered by the media. All good people are being slandered, which means the media tell lies about good people to turn the public against them. This is real serious. So all of these things tie in with this, of course, you know, and it's very important for me to talk about this because I see most people don't have a clue on what's actually happening, because they just read something in mainstream news and run off with it and say, oh yeah, that's how it must be, you know. So no, okay, they lie to you about almost everything, or they present something like a sliver of truth, and then the rest is knitted in that is total lies or total like distortion of the actual situation that's going on. Okay, so that's what's happening. Pay very close attention to this. Empowerment is also being a critical thinker. You know, empowerment is questioning what you hear on the news, questioning things that you see in a documentary film or wherever you see it, on social media, whatever is being presented, as, some kind of gossip or slander or whatever. Question it. Really question it and find out for yourself. Dig into it yourself and find out if that's true. And one way, the most important way to really find out whether it's true, is you ask the question, if this, what they're telling me, is true, then who benefits at the end? Who's the callous person that laughs himself to the bank? Who is it? Is it the activist who sits at home in a one-family house, in a $200,000 house? Is that the person who signs every day, signing petitions, crying for the animals, trying to get an initiative, maybe at some point being seen or whatever? This is just an example. Trying to run for office to make things better. Is that the person laughing to the bank? Or is the person who slanders, are the people who slander that person, that activist, are they laughing themselves to the bank? Ask yourself that question, really serious. Those people, anyone who slanders a good person, who gossips and who makes fun of someone, who tries to make someone look bad, ask the question, are they profiting from this slander in some way, financially, or did they get some kind of benefits for that, or did they get presents? This is happening all the time in politics, these kind of things, all the time, non-stop. Okay, the Blue God agrees with me. Absolutely. It's truth what I'm telling you. And it is uncomfortable to look at the truth, but we need to look at the truth if we want to make it better, if we want to fix things. And this vigilance begins with every single person. This is also on that empowerment program. Okay. Being vigilant, questioning thing, is you being empowered. Okay. That's you taking your power and your legislative power back from those who have originally silenced you or shamed you or bullied you or censored you, or your friends even censored you and bullied you. You take your power back and you question every politician, every news journalist. You question what your friends are telling you. Okay. If your friends are mean to you, you need to be very well aware that this is not good for you, mentally, psychologically, and you need to leave these people. Okay. And this is easier said than done, because most people are they're social animals. They want to be around other people. They want to keep their friends. They're lonely, they're bored. They want to go hang out with people. And they're always bullies that will never tolerate someone else who has their own views. They get very mad. They start to threaten people. And most of the time, people cower down and will just accept the threat and will just go along with what the other people are drilling into them. Because it's just more convenient for them. They don't want to lose their friends. They don't want to lose their job, whatever. It takes a lot of courage. But that's what empowerment is. Jordan Peterson, that's the perfect example of empowerment. Okay. Jordan Peterson does not let people extort him. Okay. They threatened him. They threatened to take his license away unless he is willing to go into some kind of psychological boot camp. It's all of this is so reversed, you know. It's the people that threaten Jordan Peterson that should be listening to what Jordan Peterson has to say. They should. This is my recipes for them. Watch Jordan Peterson interviews for 3 hours per day. That's my boot camp for those who threaten Jordan Peterson. Watch his videos for 3 hours per day. Maybe then you should come back to social media, okay? Not before. And what if someone did that to them and said, unless you're willing to do that, we're going to remove your medical license or your psychology license as a therapist, as a psychologist. So you like remove your PhD, you know, just like that. You know, once someone has a PhD or medical doctor or doctor of engineering, you cannot take that away. That is for the rest of their life. That's something they have accomplished. That should never be removed. That should never be legal to remove that. I mean, it wouldn't matter under what circumstances, what is going on. Even those people who may have abused their medical doctor license to practice medicine or whatever. I mean, even then they can have a SWAT team come in there and tear down that diploma off their wall. So not even that. So in the case of Jordan Peterson, he has never done anything wrong. Okay, he's gone through crises, emotional crises. He had addiction with barbiturates, this is what I heard, and while he was addicted, he said some things I didn't agree with, and then I was very, very shocked and amazed. He went through a real rigorous rehab and withdrawal, completely straightening out that addiction problem, and doing real serious introspection. His daughter helped him through this. His wife helped him through this. These are all amazing people. And he came out the other end of the tunnel. Okay, more empowered than ever. Okay, so now he really is. He knows the truth now. Okay, so this is unshakable, and he's not gonna go to some kind of retraining when he is the one that has something to say. Okay, he's the one now who has something to teach to people. And now that is Jordan Peterson is the example of empowerment. That's what I want to see in the world. He's a role model for all of you, for anyone who's struggling with some kind of addiction or some kind of grudge problems or something. Introspection and letting off all substances, that is the path. That is the only path. There's only one path, and that is sobering up, humbling down, okay, and completely looking into your own mind. There's no other path. That's the only path. Okay, Jordan Peterson has lived through this and has come out the other end and knows the truth because of that. And he is empowered. That's real empowerment, okay? And people should listen to him on this. I think most corporate collaborators are actually on all kinds of their entire lives. Most corporate collaborators, like those that threatened Peterson or threatened Elon Musk or threatened Donald Trump or other people that are good, or threatened Ingrid Newkirk or threatened Paul Watson, Captain Paul Watson, who's been through so much. I mean, it's amazing what he has been through. The threats he's gotten, the extradition threats to Costa Rica when he's never done anything wrong, just because the Japanese want to get rid of him because of that. The Japanese whale hunters, what they have done to the oceans is an atrocity. Okay. Sea Shepherd, they have rescued and protected, I would say, 10,000 whales. If it wasn't for them, 10,000 more whales would have died a gruesome death. Okay, so that's why the Japanese, who wanted him to be extradited to Costa Rica, and they would be in cahoots with the Japanese and send him to Japan, where they would torture him. So, but a lot of people helped him. A lot of people also from the inside of the government in Germany helped him, and I'm deeply grateful. I helped him. I pulled every string I had. I know some influential people. I'm not going to mention any names. And my friend Annalise, through her husband, who was a diplomat and a politician, they knew a lot of influential people and very wealthy people. And they all helped. And so I'm so infinitely grateful that together, as a collective effort, we helped Captain Paul Watson get out of that detention in Germany and break free. I'm not showing you. So, yeah, all of these good things are possible if good people are doing good things, if they are empowered, and if they help other good people. Okay, now that's true empowerment. That is moving things forward in the right direction, and that's wonderful. Okay, and that feels really good, and that's true love. Those are acts of true love. Paul Watson is a living example of true love. What true love means: risking his life over and over and over and over again for many decades to save the whales in the ocean from whale hunters. Many, many times where he had a very close call with whale hunters and with baby fur seal butchers in Newfoundland too. They were ganging up on him. I mean, a real close brush with being accosted and having his neck cut open. Okay, very close call. So, but then there were good people that broke in, that stormed in and protected him. And I give my highest respect to Captain Paul Watson, Ingrid Newkirk, and every single person and activist who protects these amazing people, who protects Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Vladimir Putin. You get my highest respect. And my message to everyone in the world is: you can empower yourself too. You can if you want to. I observe a lot of psychological things on the internet. I see that there's a lot of people that actually don't want to do something good. They're in some kind of temper tantrum. It's like a little child who, let's say a little child gets caught doing some mischief. The mother says, you have to give this back to me, you know, I don't want this to be damaged. Or like with the dog, you know, tearing up boxes. I mean, my dog is a God level soul. He immediately lets off when I come in there. He's just goofy. But like if you have a toddler who would throw a fit if you say something, you know, you have a toddler and the toddler takes something away, like the toddler takes the Tupper container away where there's flour in it, cookie flour. And then you have to grab that before the toddler opens that and pours the cookie flour over the whole floor. So, and then you take that away from the toddler in the nick of time, and then the toddler gets mad. Okay? So you took that interesting toy away, and the toddler gets mad and dumps the foot on the floor, or throws a fit, or screams, you know. So there's a lot of adult people that are acting like this, where you take something away from them. You take, let's say you put a violent criminal in prison and you take that device, that phone away from him, and say, look, you have bullied people like there's no tomorrow. I'm gonna take this device out of your hands. Can you imagine what kind of fit that man is going to be throwing? That's like his last connection to the world, basically. And I understand. But when people are violent to other people, and that's what some people do, some people are just all day long, they do nothing else other than bullying and harassing other people. So can you imagine if you take that out of the hands? It's like the ultimate act out to bully people on the internet, non-stop, like really non-stop. They even take it with them to the toilet and they pee while they're bullying people. It's like, I mean, they bully people no matter what they do, and you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't need to get into the details of it. So I mean, it's like all day long until they finally fall asleep. They fall asleep while they're bullying people, and as soon as they wake up, they bully people again. So the device is right next to their pillow. Okay, now that's what's happening. Okay, it's an act out, and it's sad. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this is what's happening. It's the total act out, and people shouldn't take offense to this, because you know this is happening. Okay, if you do it, any of the haters, any hater in the world, any psychopath, narcissist, if you're doing this, you know what you're doing. You know I'm telling the truth with this. I observe all of these things, and then if you took that away, they would become absolutely despaired. They would become violent. I want people to look at themselves. I want people to look at their own act-outs. I mean, it's one thing to be addicted to all kinds of things on the internet, or be addicted to shopping or porn or whatever it is, signing up for psychic readings or watching crime reports non-stop, right? I can easily fall into that trap. So one can easily fall into all kinds of traps like this. So that's one thing, but it takes it to another dimension when people are addicted to making other people miserable, to making other people suffer, and pushing other people so far that they sign up into a psychiatric hospital or end up committing suicide. And this is happening all the time. All the time. Okay? That's why I talk about this. And it is not okay. I just watched Camper Van Carolyn's video on the cyberbullying and what she said about this, what they have done to her, the way they have harassed her. Okay, a beautiful, natural woman. Okay, and I told her, I know exactly what's going on with those people. I know the women are jealous of her and the men want her. Okay, and so she didn't get into the details of this, but I can clearly see this. I've already seen this in the past, a couple of years ago. When I read the comments under her videos, obviously people are they're very enchanted by her, and they're very I don't want to say the wrong word. Entertained in a good way, you know, like they are, like with any celebrity, you know, they are enchanted and they are mesmerized with her looks and with her mental freedom and with her empowerment and all of that. And then men fall in love with her, you know, and narcissistic men, and she brought it up, she mentioned it briefly. She said that some of those men think that they're in a relationship with her when they are not. Okay, so that I know that from some porn stars that talked about this as well. Jenna Jameson, for example, said that she gets bombarded with male fans and they have a sense of entitlement with her. She said they think they know her like personally, you know. They think that some of them think they're actually in a relationship with her just because they have pleasured themselves over her. So that made them feel like they are in some kind of relationship with Jenna Jameson, who doesn't know them, who is just living her life, okay, the way she wants to. And then these guys come up to her and become pushy and demanding, like she owes them something. And Paul used to work for Bel Air Patrol, and he worked in that closed community where the celebrities are living. He worked there when he was 18. It was a long time ago. And the kind of stuff he's seen there is so... Some of it is sad, like the fans of Rod Stewart, the female fans of Rod Stewart. It's so infinitely sad, you know, because I can relate a little bit to them. You know, I know what it's like. You know, you're in front of the TV, you're alone. I mean, that was in the past, before internet. You see celebrities, and it happened to me as well, and then later on happened on the internet, you know, falling in love with James Hetfield. So I can relate to all of this. There's this man that sings this very slow, like gentle song, and he's kind of like he looks like a Viking, and it's like, yeah, it gets women going. It really does, you know. And Rod Stewart, I was never in love with Rod Stewart, but we danced after Rod Stewart. I remember when I was 11 years old. So, So I really feel compassion for these women that will come in there, somehow get their way into past those gates, and end up in front of Rod Stewart's mansion on the street with their small cars, and then they sleep in their small cars. They are hoping to get a glimpse of Rod Stewart walking by, and that's all. And that's all they ever wanted, to see Rod Stewart live in person, even if they could just see him from walking past them, see his behind walking into his door and then closing the door on them, and they don't get to talk to him, and that's just so sad, all of this. And Paul has seen these women there, and he felt sorry for them too. But then there are the entitled fans. So now, and again, that's what takes it to the other level, okay? Not the person who's addicted to something, or the Rod Stewart fan harmlessly sitting in her car. It's all sad, all of this. These people need help. But they're not hurting anyone. The problem occurs when people start to hurt other people. When someone thinks Natalie Wood owes him money. Now, I had to laugh so hard, I almost fell under the table when Paul told me about this. There was this real pesky homeless man that would not let off. This is so funny. They would call the cops. They already knew that guy there. He would go revolving door back into the insane asylum, but they don't have enough funds, so they let him back out on the streets. Like in 3 days or so, he ends up back in front of Natalie Wood's house, and and she has to call the police again, and it would go on and on and on and on. And he would really throw a fit when the police get there and say they owe him money. It's just, it's absolutely hilarious. Some people are so insane. And so now I'm just talking about a pesky one, right? I'm not even talking about the real problematic ones. This is a pesky one. I had to laugh about it. This is annoying. But then there are the criminals. Okay. There are those that there was a girl that broke into Brad Pitt's house and went into his bed and slept in his bed. I guess he was somewhere else for a couple of days. When he came back home, he finds this stranger lady in his bed. He calls the police. They get her. She throws a temper tantrum, annoying, just like the Natalie Wood fan guy. So that's not even the worst part, okay? There was a guy who broke into Britney Spears' house, and an Oriental guy, and he went swimming in her pool. That's so funny. That's absolutely, I find that so funny, but it's really not funny. It's goodness, it is sad. Sad. Oh God, is that annoying? But anyway, those are not the cluster Bs. They're still not the cluster Bs. They may be annoying. They're cluster A, like homeless type of mentality, schizoid, those kinds. cluster B is, that's when it becomes a real problem. When people become violent and dangerous, like Richard Ramirez, who broke into people's homes and tortured them to death in front of their loved ones. That's when it becomes a real problem. And all of this is important to think about and talk about, because if we want to fix this, we have to introspect. You have to be willing to introspect. You have to be willing to say, oh no, I don't want my life to become like the Rod Stewart fan, or, you know, you, the hater, should say to yourself that you don't want your life to become like that of Richard Ramirez. Okay, I'm real serious about this. Real serious. This is real serious for you, for your mind, for your soul, for your future incarnations, and for the whole world. For everyone you make miserable, suffering, for everyone you push over the edge, for everyone you push into suicide, for everyone you rape and torture. Okay, this is real serious. And everyone who does these horrible things makes the world more horrible, makes the world suffer more and more and more, puts more negative and abhorrent energy into the world. This is real serious. We want to heal this. We need to heal this. We have no other choice. Okay, we have to heal it. If you like someone like Carolyn or Rod Stewart or Natalie Wood or William Shatner or whoever you like, whoever you are mesmerized with, you know, Jim Carrey, anyone, I'm just randomly listing people's names. So anyone, okay, you should be nice to that person, first of all. Okay. If you become entitled and you become hostile or aggressive or violent, you're never gonna get to be friends with that person. It will never happen. Okay. That person will call the police on you. They'll call their bodyguard over. They will never even respond to you. They will block you. And that's not what you want. Okay. You want their attention. You have to be nice to the person you like at all times. And for some people feel like the toddler who throws the temper tantrum. Some people feel like it would make them despaired if they had to be nice. That would actually be a problem for them to be nice. Like one of the haters said in the chat room, he tried not to bully people for a while. I'm glad he tried, at least. I don't know for how long that lasted. I don't know, maybe a couple of days. So he had to go, or he was even free from alcohol for a week or so, you know. Then terrible withdrawal symptoms come, and if you don't get help from anyone, if you're not in the right environment, you're gonna fall right back into it. That's obvious. But he falls right back into bullying people. Why? He said because it was more fun. Just like for a toddler, you know, it's more fun to damage something, you know, get mother's attention, than to be nice, than to give that flower container back for something, you know. So to do the right thing for some people is actually painful. Now, why is that? I think this is very important that people should, it's very important that people look into this, that people actually introspect into this. Why would that make you feel not so good? Why is it so much funner to bully someone? Why is that? You know, yeah, they said it makes them feel like a lion and so on. Why does it make you feel like a lion? You need to dig into that. Okay, you need to dive into it. Investigate that into this. You have to investigate into your own mind. Why does that feel good to bully anyone? Why does it feel bad not to bully people? Why does it feel bad to do a job that is honest? You know, like clean the toilets of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, to use that example. Or, I mean, any kind of job. Work for the Whole Foods market. Okay, there's a lot of Whole Foods markets in big cities. Apply for a job at the Whole Foods market, or the Wild Oats market, or the co-ops for health food stores, and you know, they sell some decent stuff that makes the world better. Work for them. You know, whatever you do there, you mop the floors, or you're bagging the groceries, or you work at the cash register. Okay. Work there, or you stack up merchandise, which I have done. I have worked in a place, in a really, really large grocery type of, like huge, like Costco. That was way back in Germany. And we put the labels on the merchandise, you know, whatever labels that we had there was the price tag. We put that. It was a real tedious job. I had to quit there. The work environment was so unbelievably hostile. That in itself was so incredibly toxic and hostile from all of the people around me. Not all, but there were some nice people, but the majority were very hostile, and it was just a real bad work environment. Absolutely horrible. I had nightmares for a long time about that job. I mean, it haunted me. So I don't understand why anyone would want to flagellate themselves to live a lifestyle like this, working in a place like that. But there are places that have a better work environment. Just find them, look for it. You know. They're out there. And then do a job that makes you money and that's honest, you know, instead of sending people into human trafficking, pimping people out, or raping people, or whatever. Or working as a drug dealer or drug pusher. That's making the world suffer absolutely horrifically. Okay. Quit doing this. Do it for yourself. Do it for your own karma. Do it for your soul. Do it for the world. Quit these horrific things. Quit tormenting other people. And start working in a place or a business that wants to make the world a better place. You know, where they sell some things that are better, that are fair trade, that are organic, that are free from toxins, free from pesticides, you know, that support local farmers and so on. You know, work in a place like this. Work at a local farm, at a bio farm, organic farm. Work there. That's good work, good physical labor to do this. Straighten out your life. Please, please, please take my warmest, most compassionate recommendations. Listen to me on this. Peace.